Uh, Good evening, students. I hope you're all able to hear me. So I'll just make sure my audio is working fine. And on that note, I will begin a very important topic today. So today is a class which is especially important for the humanities students, but not restricted to humanities students. Even if you're not from humanities background, you can definitely attend this session. So I've got confirmation of my voice, so no problem on that note. So let us now begin with the session. So first of all, what is the thing that we are looking at here? So this session is relevant obviously for students in class 11 and 12 who are in humanities. It's also important for students in class 9 and 10 who are considering taking up humanities next year. Now there are lots of preconceived misconceptions about humanities. There's a general regard that there aren't many career opportunities, that after humanities you can only get into academics. By the way, academics isn't that bad a career. It's actually pretty lucrative nowadays, but anyway, that's a separate point. We can talk about that some other day. So academics is of course one, but it's not the only. Far from only. There are many other career streams which you can go for from humanities. So let us look at them one by one in today's session. My name is Aritro Dasgupta. I've been with Gradeup for about a month, and you've probably already seen me in several of these generic sessions, strategy sessions. I've also taken some GK sessions, and I've also taken GK sessions on Gradeup's app as well. So do follow me for more such sessions. So this is something, nowadays the IPL season is ongoing, so we couldn't resist. We had to give you something to do with cricket. So अच्छे score की जिद, that is always a good thing. That's what Mahendra Singh Dhoni says. Lalach, for a good cause, lalach is a good thing. So marks के लिए lalach is not a bad thing. राइट. सो एट दिस पॉइंट लालच के लिए अगर आप ग्रेड अप ज्वाइन करें, आपको 45% ऑफ मिलेगा. दैट इज अ मैसिव सेविंग दैट यू गाइज विल end up receiving. So guys, please enroll now itself. This is the code mantra 45. If you buy this now, you will get a flat 45% off. Right, this is a board number we've shared with you guys at the bottom of the page. This is 96500529004. कोई भी doubt हो, please feel free to contact us here. Right. Let us understand a couple of things. So, courses after 12th or humanities stream is a popular course option which is selected by many candidates after class 12. Right. There is a perception. Now, this is a very wrong perception, and this perception probably held true several years back. There is also perception that it is only good for girls. That is not true at all nowadays. I mean, there is a perception, but that does not hold true in the modern world where you have so many career opportunities. So there is a perception that only weak students opt for arts. That is far from truth. Contrary to common perception, lot of right opportunities which are available to art students after graduation. So these are couple of skills that you develop. So whether you go for one of these courses or not is a separate point. But these are couple of skills which I'm not suggesting that commerce or science students cannot develop, but definitely humanities students have an advantage. Let us take a look. So one is creative and critical thinking. Now why is that? इसका मैं आपको example बताता हूँ. One of the subjects you study in humanities is obviously literature. You also study history, psychology, sociology, philosophy, etc. Now one thing common between all these subjects is they are based around human beings. When you're reading a novel, when you're reading about a historical character, when you're reading about some philosopher and the ideas he or she gave, it is always about people. So what happens is in real life, when you meet people, you could often develop, because I am somebody, for example, I've read hundreds of novels. When I come across people in my life, I often think, yes, this guy is like Othello, this guy is like this lady is like Desdemona, this person is like that character I read in that particular novel. So we keep looking at real life figures and our fiction characters almost together, because ultimately fiction comes from real life people. Writers write about people they see in their real life. Similarly, historical events and cultural events, they all have a significance on our day to day lives as well. So in order to assess that, it is very important that one reads, even if you're not from humanities background, but if you read up these subjects, these topics, it is always going to, it's a life skill that you develop. Right, so you can actually challenge the status quo this way. Raise questions. Humanity students are always asked, raise questions. Do not feel happy to just be on your comfort area. Observation Observation skills tend to be very strong among humanities students because they notice facts and important events around them, which are beneficial. Also, there are bigger events which are beneficial both in the short and the long run. No doubt there is empathy and insight. Now, there is a difference. I'm also simultaneously going to turn on the YouTube page of Gradeup because my session is also going there. So I'll take a look at some of the questions there uh, in case there are any. Right. So I've just turned on my session. I'll just keep looking at it from time to time in case there are any such questions which come up here. Anyway, so what are the so there is a difference between two words, empathy and sympathy. Can somebody tell me what is the key difference between these two words, empathy and sympathy? I'm going to give you 30 seconds, up to a minute. Please write down on my on the chat window the difference between these two words, empathy and sympathy. I will check for the answer you've written. Okay, so first of all, let us understand what are the key differences between the two. So, what is empathy? Okay, let's start with sympathy. Sympathy is when I am sympathetic or I have concern for somebody or something, a situation where which I have not faced, and I'm highly unlikely to face. So, if I say that I really care for poor people in this country, I'm somebody who's always been middle class or upper middle class. Now, I obviously might care for poorer people and I might help them out, so that will be sympathy because I have never been in that position. Empathy, on the other hand, is when you have already gone through it and you can place yourself in that position. So it is not necessary, it is not possible for you and I to be in each and every position. But if you read, if you can have understood the way human beings behave, then you can always empathize with situation. That is why empathy is important not only in the workplace but also in one's personal life. Learning in depth about human life and culture makes one more acceptable and understanding. Also, communication skills very important because humanities is a lot about speaking and understanding communication, not just spoken, but there's also non-verbal communication. There's written communication. So, irrespective of the field, this is very important. A lot of our interactions and perhaps the most valuable skills one picks up is while studying humanities. Okay, now Bachelor of Journalism and Mass Comm. That is one course definitely you can go for. In fact, one of the recent classes I took up a session on service on media aptitude. Some of you might remember that, especially for journalism and mass comm students. So BJMC, Bachelor of Journalism and Mass Comm, it's a 3-year long undergraduate degree program. You can go through that session couple of days back, so that will give you thorough understanding on the same. So in order to be eligible for the course, aspirants need to do class 12 with any discipline. So ऐसा नहीं कि आपको humanities ही करना है, बट ह्यूमैनिटी स्टूडेंट्स के लिए बहुत फायदा है क्योंकि एंट्रेंस एग्जाम्स में काफी सारे एंट्रेंसेस में आपको लिखना पड़ता है काफी. ऑल्सो यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड, यू नीड टू बी क्रिएटिव, यू नीड टू नो अ लॉट ऑन द सोशल साइंसेस. सो ह्यूमैनिटीज में this is something definitely that's going to help. So, in order to be eligible for the course, aspirants need to clear class 12, of course, and it's suitable to those who wish to have a career in the media industry. Media could be print, radio, television, digital. It could be in public relations, advertising. So बहुत सारी fields है, आप उसमें जा सकते हैं. There's also hospitality and travel, bachelors in hospitality management or hotel management. So it's a popular course option. सो 10+12 आपने साइंस में किया, कॉमर्स में किया, आर्ट्स किसी में भी किया, बट आप इसमें जा सकते हैं. बट आर्ट स्टूडेंट्स, आई वोंट हैव एन एडवांटेज ओवर द अदर्स, बट yes, in one area they do, because especially if you have geography or history, you understand the areas very well. So for example, if today you are placed, you have been put up in a very senior hospitality position, let's say in the state of Karnataka. Now, Karnataka has a lot of beautiful things to show, both on the natural side and the human side. But if you understand history and if you understand geography, you can sell that place much better. Right? If you do not know what are the best lakes to visit, or what are the waterfalls, or what are the temples to visit, or forts to visit, फिर आप कैसे किसी को sell करोगे? So that is why this is where humanity students do have a significant advantage. नाउ दिस इज अ कोर्स विच इज, इसके अलग अलग नाम है अलग अलग जगहों में. नाउ आईआईटी मद्रास और आईआईटी चेन्नई, that has an undergrad in humanities and social sciences. It's a 3-year course, but you also have a 5-year option, integrated option. You also have courses like liberal arts, which are popular in several universities nowadays, such as the Ashoka University in Sonipat, Haryana, the Flame University in Pune. In सब areas में काफी popular है. So it's a bachelor's degree in subjects related to social sciences, liberal arts, and fine arts. Fine arts is slightly different. Fine arts is about painting. But again, that is something. Fine arts के लिए किसी को भी talent हो सकता है. जरूरी नहीं कि आप humanities से हो. So if you have completed in humanities, all the better. Although it is not necessary. If somebody from science or commerce can also apply for it. I consider this the beauty of humanities and not, shall we say, a hindrance. That somebody from a different course can also come for your course, which is not the true, which is not correct in the sciences, right? In the sciences, you need to have those subjects in your school in order to apply for it at the UG level. So that is not the case in humanities, and I think it's a good thing. It brings people from different fields, and it brings a huge pool of talent into the classroom with diverse set of skills. One could say it's easier to learn. It's, you don't have those technical prerequisites unlike in the sciences, but at the same time you also have, shall we say, an openness which is not there in the other courses. Okay, so be in arts थोड़ा समझ लेते हैं. Fine arts, visual arts, performing arts. Performing is related to dance. Visual is related to a lot of the computer based stuff, while fine arts is about painting. I've told you before. So BA in arts is the bachelor's degree, in these fields. Uh, I've already told you that this is something which you can do whether you're from arts stream or even from science or commerce. It doesn't really matter. The other streams as well. Performing, I've told you, it's about dance, the various dance forms. There is a bachelor in arts in the various classical dance forms. Delhi University has quite a prestigious one. Now, some of you might think it's weird that you're only dancing all the time. No, there's a lot of theory as well. There are proper written examinations also for these. You also have courses in music. You have UG, PG, even up to a PhD level. You do have in music as well. Right. Okay, so we understand you guys are very comfortable on the phone, which is why we did share our phone number with you guys. But your generation is also extremely comfortable on WhatsApp, which is why we've also shared our WhatsApp number 935449953 0. Do let me in whatever questions you guys have. I will be extremely happy to answer your questions. Phone number with you guys. Generation is also extremely comfortable on. Right. Now let's understand Bachelor of Fine Arts. I'll just take a look at the YouTube class once again. Do let me know if there are any questions. I will be happy to answer them on the chat window. Let's understand Bachelor of Fine Arts. Right, so this is a bachelor's degree undertaken in the fields of fine arts, visual arts, and performing arts, as I've already told you. Now, BFA is something you can pursue straight after class 12. Now, this is very interesting. Now, this is not something which would come automatically under a humanities background, because this is obviously quite different. But you've got Bachelor of Design in Animation. So, इसमें you have topics like BDES, This is very different. So this is not the typical humanities course, but why we've listed in this course is because it is open to anybody, and that is why whether you're from science or commerce or humanities, you can go for this, right? So BDES is in animation. Now आज के दिन animation बहुत ही important है, क्योंकि आप कोई भी वीडियो देखें, कोई भी वेबसाइट पे जाए, उसमें एनिमेशंस बहुत होते हैं. Animations quickly attract the attention of people these days, which also has its negatives. People don't want to read complex text. People are very quickly swayed by animation. That's a problem as well. But again, at the end of the day, if there's a business requirement, you are there. In advertising industry, very important. Also, you must understand, now this is something very few might be aware, in the field of training and development, where corporates are trained in various fields, there also animation is used in a field which is known as gamification, where games are used to through the use of animations, employees or trainees, they play games in order to simulate real life situations. So yeah, it's a UG degree. Anybody can go for it. Now, this probably is the most important one, and this is one of those courses which over the recent years has really trended. And I can tell you, number of law aspirants is rising every year. It's not that only humanities guys can go for it, anybody can, but humanities के लिए बहुत ही popular है. उसका obvious answer है कि reason है कि humanities में pol science is a very important subject. Now, pol science के बिना आप lawyer नहीं बन सकते. Entrance के लिए चाहिए नहीं, but there's an advantage if you have pol science as one of your subjects, especially in two of the subjects like GK. GK is very important in all the law entrances, also in legal aptitude, which is there in most of them, except for I think LSAT. Otherwise it's there in all of them. So लॉ के लिए आपका 5 साल का लॉ इज टेक्निकली एन आफ्टर ग्रेड कोर्स. सो in the traditional model, you did 3-year graduation in anything and then a 3-year graduation in law. But since the NLUs came up, we now have 5-year integrated programs immediately after class 12. So aspirants need to clear class 12 in any discipline with the minimum required percentage in order to be eligible for the course. Now, duration of the BA LLB program in Indian universities and colleges is typically 5 years. ठीक है. 6 years का आप कर सकते हैं, 3-year UG करके 3 years बाद में, वो भी पॉसिबिलिटी है, बट दिस इज बेटर. नाउ लॉट ऑफ ह्यूमैनिटी स्टूडेंट्स गो फॉर दिस थिंग बिकॉज ऑफ द काइंड ऑफ, अगेन द सेम थिंग्स व्हिच आई सेड, critical thinking, because every case is different. This is not arithmetic, it's not physics or chemistry, it is very subjective. So the same situation, the same kind of problem in the same state, but it could have very different legal ramifications because these things are subjective, human based. So law is one area where subjectivity becomes really important. It's critical thinking and creativity becomes important. How do you solve that situation, understanding human beings? So if you have pol science, if you've got psychology with that, or sociology, you understand humans really well. That's a great combination. And legal studies, of course. Right, the duration I've told you is 5 years. Bachelor of Design, I've sort of already given you information on this. It's a UG program, anybody can go for it. Hospitality and travel, I think I've already mentioned this to you. It's sort of repeating the slide, but I've already told you how humanities students have a major advantage, although it's called BSc. Okay, so पहले मैंने BHM बताया था. The earlier one I told you was BHM. Yeah, BHM. This is bachelor's and this is a BSc. So there's a slight difference between the two. Here you get a science degree and you have slightly more scientific stuff because here there's a lot of focus on culinary, on the cooking, what chemicals to use, not exact chemicals, what ingredients to use while cooking. So somebody who's going for pure culinary, uske liye feel thoda better hai. But again, you can't stick to culinary. Ultimately, in your hotel management, you need to understand the destination, you need to market that destination, so that becomes a critical thing. I'm not repeating the last point, that's same for almost every exam. I don't think there's any exam where humanities is compulsory, that a science and commerce student can't go for it. I don't think there is any. Right, so Bachelors of Journalism, very similar to BJMC here, except that here the focus is more on journalism, more on the print media rather than the mass communication, which is an added thing. But again, it's more of a nomenclature. The difference isn't too much. It's a 3-year program, and anybody with an interest in print, electronic, or online media, they can opt for this. And also the courses like advertising, public relations, they are also relevant in this particular case. Bachelor of Mass Media, this isn't too different from the previous one. Um, Now, one thing I should have told you guys is what are the subjects in humanities? That's one thing which is quite important. So, humanities, when you've got subjects like English, of course, is there across the streams. Maths is possibility in humanities. You can take up maths. In fact, yesterday I did a session about the importance of maths in the UG programs for management programs. So, maths अगर हो तो काफी फायदे हैं आपके ऑप्शंस काफी इंक्रीज हो जाते हैं नॉट नेसेसरीली मैं नहीं कह रहा मैथ्स लेना ही है but if you can that's great economics that's a very important core program in humanities if you have economics always good to also have maths because economics honors that option you should keep open economics honors requires maths humanities also has subjects like history sociology psychology political science legal studies you can add other languages to this, fine arts, etc. These are pretty much the subject. Very few schools nowadays give geography, but geography is also a pretty important topic. Okay, so Bachelors of Mass Media not very different to BJMC. Uh, just the nomenclatures are different from one university to another. Now, there are some courses where, although preference is given to commerce students, but even if you're from humanities background, you can go for these exams. That is an advantage here. So, so BCom honors is generally the preference is given to commerce students because you've got subjects like accounting and business studies and economics here, mathematics. For honors, you do need mathematics. For BCom Pass, which is now renamed as BCom program, you don't need mathematics. But ultimately, the course content isn't too different. Humanities students can go for it if they have the right marks and if they have a flair for mathematics and some of the other areas they can go for it. In fact, nowadays a lot of colleges are putting top premium on diversity, so this is one way in which they are boosting them by not just taking students from commerce but also from the sciences and humanities. Now, there was this person, Martha Nussbaum. You can look at her quotation. It says, imagination is an innate gift. How wonderfully put. But it needs refinement and cultivation. This is what humanities provide. So, you may have a great gift, but उसको अच्छा करने के लिए उसको cultivate करना पड़ता है. You might have a gift of writing, but if you don't write, you cannot really. I was a quizzer in school, but जॉब में आके मैं भूल जाता सारा जनरल नॉलेज बिकॉज आई एम टीचिंग यू गाइज सो दैट आई एम कॉन्स्टेंटली शार्पनिंग माई पेंसिल जिस तरीके से यहाँ पे पेंसिल दिए हुए हैं आई एम ऑल्सो कॉन्स्टेंटली शार्पनिंग माई इंटेलेक्चुअल पेंसिल right so this is the conclusion we would like to present to you guys. So although there are a lot of people now, you're in class 12. Please understand, class 12, there is a lot of psychological stress more than the academic stress. I would say that there's a lot of psychological stress because students at this stage, everybody is advising you guys. There are people like us who are working for an organization who have the experience. That's fine. You also have your close relatives, but then again, you also have many distant relatives. You've got all kinds of neighbors, people from every hue and cry of, I mean, every walk of life, and they are also advising you. I mean, in a way, I mean, now because of the various lockdowns, at least you're not coming across so many people. I'm not suggesting the lockdown or this pandemic may have any advantage. All I'm saying is, at least you're staying away from the crowd. So that psychological stress sort of reduces. Class 12, there is a lot of stress for you guys, and I know a lot of people will advise that humanities में कोई careers नहीं है. Even if you're in class 9 and 10, many people would like to give you advice, which is fine. Let's take advice from as many people as possible, but whatever advice they're giving should be backed by facts and figures. Unfortunately, if somebody says humanities does not have jobs now, they're not correct. In fact, in the age of artificial intelligence, humanities gives us certain things which robots cannot do. Empathy and creativity, robots cannot think on their own. So that is where, I mean, at least till now, so that is where we guys, we humans come out strong. So even though people say it's difficult, that is not correct. I've already shown you there are several opportunities. It all depends on how good you are. So based on the skills you've acquired and which you've majored in, there are a pool of opportunities waiting for you. Whatever subject you studied will open doors to you in areas where you are interested in. Perhaps a few decades ago, there were limited job options available for those who had done humanities, but that is not true now. In fact, one of the areas which was very popular a few decades back was government jobs, and that still remains very popular. For government jobs, you need to complete a graduation. I mean, for class C or class B jobs, class A obviously. So once you've done your graduation, any field you can go for sarkari exams. So that is again a possibility. We at Gradeup also have preparations for all kind of government examinations. Right, this is the new batch we've started some time back. These are our trainers. So the number I've already provided for you. You can call up at this number. There's one more number that we have 9319599244. You can also contact us here. आपको मालूम ही है ग्रेड अप का जो टैगलाइन है सही प्रेप है तो लाइफ सेट है. I mean, I don't think greater truism has ever been mentioned, so this is absolutely correct. And do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once you subscribe, do press the bell icon because that is what is going to help you out in this. And to receive notification for all new videos, you need to press this bell icon so that you can receive these notifications. Right. I'll keep this session open for some time so that you can ask me questions. Let me once again check on YouTube. Right. I'll keep this session open for some time so that you can ask me questions. Let me once again check on YouTube. Right. So once you enroll with us, we also have an app on Google Play. You can go for our app, which is Gradeup, and of course, you can practice topic-wise quizzes. You must also keep attending the live classes that we provide as part of the platform. So I'll just keep it open for a couple of minutes in case students have any questions. Please feel free to ask us. By the way, just wanted to inform you today 5 p.m. On the Gradeup app, I'm taking another class. I had started with the current affairs from the month of October. So I've taken 4 sessions for the month of October. Now I will today be starting from the month of November. So see you all at 5 p.m. in half an hour's time. Do not miss this session by any chance. So even if you are not attending the live session, even if you're watching the session later on, please feel free to put in your comments. I do keep visiting my old videos as well. Usme video comments deke I do respond to that. So do not worry. So even if you're watching recorded, do put in your question. Not possible on the live chat, but put it on the other one, and I will be happy to uh, answer you something. Right. Thank you so much, guys. Wonderful interacting with you all. Was great interacting. So I'll just switch off the screen now.